Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly live play of Blue Rose, Her Majesty's Chanterelle, in which we play Blue Rose by our friends over at Green Ronin Games. I'm Bryan F. Irving from Gethsemane Games. We did most of the maps and wrote the adventure, but the rules are by Green Ronin Games. I'm also from DH9 Radio. You might hear some of the music produced by the DH9 Radio production unit as the show goes on, depending upon what the players do and where they go. I'll be your games master for this afternoon, and your cast of players are Patrick.
Hello.
Who is playing?
An enemy.
Who is?
A
A
friend.
sea folk.
This is great. Now I know how dentists feel pulling teeth. Louise?
Hi, I'm Louise. I'm playing Myval, the Rye Raccoon. And I can speak now. Yay!
Indeed so. And Shaun.
Hello. Yeah, I'm playing Thaldron, who's a bit of an elf-like character, but could do some magic and psychic stuff.
Okay, and the party are members of the crew of Her Majesty's Chanterelle, a charting vessel which has been out on the high seas correcting some of the old charts that have been proving to be a touch inaccurate. Shipping has been lost as a consequence, and they're part of a small fleet of vessels that have been tasked with remapping the region. However, things have taken a very bizarre turn when Her Majesty's Chanterelle was caught up in a strange storm that blew up suddenly and almost out of nowhere. The next day they encountered the remnants of the Diamantina, one of the other ships in their flotilla, who told them that the problems began when they found a strange invisible island at the end of the Starscatter archipelago, an island that by all rights shouldn't be there. It's on none of the charts. Even the locals of the other islands didn't know it existed. However, when they found it, they made it about halfway around the island before they were attacked by what they took to be pirates. The party, being a party, have gone to investigate this mysterious invisible island, which eventually appeared out of nowhere as the ship got close enough to the shore. They've identified what appears to be causing the invisibility. It seems to be the strange lighthouse on the northern part of the island, with the unlight that it sheds, which hides everything it alights upon. The party have investigated the first of the points of interest on the island, which is, I'll just take you over to their map. There we go. This is the map that they were given by the survivors of the Diamantina. They've investigated the flooded ruin here, in which they found an elemental that was, after throwing an enemy around a little bit like a racquetball, it eventually was tamed and drained the water out of the flooded ruin so that it could recover the magical sword Silverlight and the horn that were found on one of the altars, the purpose of which they still don't quite know yet. We rejoin the party then just outside the... I'll take you over to my version of the map. Just outside of the flooded temple. What would the party like to do next?
Have we fully explored... Sorry, you go, Louise.
Just wondered, did this map load really weirdly for anybody else? Because it looks like... Because all that's loaded for me is the ship and what looks like sparkle lines coming up it.
I don't know. Then it's loaded fine for me.
I've got the ship. I've got the temple and our little rowboat, a bit of the land and a lot of the sea, in a kind of fog of war circle.
Yeah, that should be about right. Okay. So, would you prefer to be on the player's map that you've got, so you can know?
Well, my question was, have we fully explored the temple, or are there areas that we haven't been to yet? Because I'm looking at the graphic that's on the map, and it looks like there are upper floors.
Okay, let's take you back to the
Yeah.
temple then. So we have the depths of the flooded temple. It's taken a little while for it to load and then resolve on mine properly. But after saying earlier that I created the maps, this one actually isn't one of mine. The temple is by Seafoot and is available, I think, in the Roll20 marketplace. It's certainly available from Seafoot anyway. So,
Judging by the name, do they specialise in aquatic maps?
do you know the do?
Ah,
Okay, so that's the upper level that you're on at the moment. I believe I've brought you over. I'm just going to double check. Yes. So you're not aware of anything that leads any further up? No.
No.
There's no stairs anywhere.
Yeah, the stairs go down, don't they?
The stairs go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
I was expecting like some sort of tower, but we've
Yeah.
seen over here where this floor. This is where the light's escaping. So this is like the highest. This is the highest point on the
It is.
structure.
There are
This is the
stairs
actual
out.
tower because there are stairs up. from
Right. But because it's submerged, it's sort of closer to ground level or closer to sea level.
Well, okay, I'll show you the lowest level first. So this is the submerged level that I'm taking you over to now.
Yeah.
So that's the submerged level, with that beautiful blue shading over it, which I should.
It is lovely.
Yeah, it is. I should probably partly remove now because it's a lot of the water's been drained out temporarily. And then you're moving, but just when I started speaking, you were standing directly under the portal to the top of the. So on the upper level, this is directly over that circular dais. So this is the upper level where this part is not submerged. The water comes up to just under the windows here. Then there's this slightly sloping walkway leading up towards these stairs, which climb up the cliff to this part of the tower, which opens up onto the surface. So it's a tower in the sense that the rest of the temple is further down the cliff, and this
Got
is
ya.
where the light is shining out. You quite rightly pointed out.
Okay. So we've seen all there is to see. We've gathered all there is to gather. I think the only other thing we had left to do here was any form of repairs that we could to the gemstones on the right hand side, up in the tower.
Yes, you had said to the elemental that you would repair that if you could, but
Yes.
you've not seen hide nor hair of the missing gemstones.
Well,
They've definitely been
we'll
prized out with
Mhm.
something sharp.
Which means somebody has them, and they might still be about.
Mm.
Well, they've been missing for quite some time, as far as you can gather. Long
That was
enough.
that-
Could have been sold off.
Yeah.
That was the next question I was going to ask. Like, was there much aging on the
Yes.
hulls, effectively? You know,
There is thick layers of dust. There's little bits of lichen, or lichen, as some people prefer to call it. I still don't know which pronunciation is correct. Gathered in some of the gaps where this has been prized out. So you would say these were taken months, if not years ago. Whether that
And
was
it's-
by visitors to the island or whether that was by somebody who lives on the island, you don't know.
Well, we're not going to find them staying here,
No.
Probably not.
and there is nothing else that we can do in this given area. I do wonder if they could have been dropped, I suppose, if the elemental had sort of caught them in the act and started to give chase. But I think if they had, wouldn't the elemental have just picked them up and put them back in situ?
If it had noticed them, it certainly would have done, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a search of the area. It'll take you about half an hour, maybe less. It'll take you about. There's a lot of you, so it'll take you about 5 minutes
Yeah.
to search inside the tower, and that you are convinced at the end of that search that they are not here.
Perception.
I mean, you can make a perception roll, but
Well, is it a perception roll to search?
no, I've just given you the information. You're convinced they're not here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the option that we could do that. Beg your pardon.
No, I have assumed that you would, and you find nothing.
Right. Okay then. Then we'll set off and look elsewhere.
Yeah, I find occasionally it's not worth making people roll dice for things when you can just give them the information. Sometimes
Agreed.
when it's important that there is a lack of surety, then dice should be brought in. But I think sometimes in games we overuse dice, so I'm trying to address that by thinking cautiously about, do I need to roll or not? Okay. Or do I need to get you to roll or not would be a more accurate statement. Okay, if you can just all gather together so I can copy and paste you over to the next place you go.
Remember not to pick up the duplicates.
Oh, the duplicates are that.
Where the heck even out there?
Oh, hello, friend.
I see. Hold on. One of my screens has just turned itself off. It has a tendency to do that if you take your eyes off it for 30 seconds. Okay, so that's one of them gone, and we've seen to
Young
have
Roger
two
down
young
south.
Rogers, so let's get rid of the second young Roger. There we go. That should be...
There's the Magnificent Seven at the top.
Right, you are. There's a Magnificent Seven. So, taking you over to the player's map now, what you're actually aware of.
Right.
Excuse
We
me.
did say we would travel down this way.
Mm.
Yeah, get picked up by the ship.
Ah, right. Yes. Yeah.
But in the case, did somebody row us out in the boat, drop us off, and row back to the ship, or is the boat? We pulled the boat up.
No,
on the
no.
ship.
Us and the crew that we brought with us, we rowed the boat and stored it at the little cross.
The X.
Little X.
So in that case, we would have to then sail down, like round the coast with the boat.
You did actually tell the boat to pick you up there if you hadn't signalled them before then, so you've
Right. So
already
we could
organised.
do,
Right,
we could do
yeah.
a signal,
Yeah.
couldn't we, from there? One of the things that we do have the ability to is actually use telepathy.
Right,
To
okay.
signal people.
To what range?
Yeah. To what? Right. This is where the rules become a little bit funny,
Of course.
right?
And we're not talking funny ha-ha either, are we?
We're talking funny strange, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So if we go and look at Arcana,
Okay.
where is it? It's well, it's not mind reading. It's not light shaping.
We're talking psychic contact.
Psychic contact on
Yeah.
page 105.
105. Bosh. Psychic contact. You can establish contact between your mind and that of an animal or person. The base target number is modified by familiarity. If the subject is unwilling or has psychic shield in place, you have to make a separate test to overcome their resistance. If you do not want the subject to know you are initiating psychic contact, you can make a separate opposed test. You don't need to worry about any of that. While in psychic contact with another mind, the two of you can communicate at the rate of normal speech. Okay. Nothing about
So
range
the-
so far.
Nothing about range in there, right? So if we go to the top of the thing, the magic side of things, the Arcana descriptions. I mean, it talks about where's the familiarity? There's familiarity. There's a table for it for when you're rolling.
Page number?
Multiple subjects, Arcana summary, page 91,
91.
range.
91. Range. Let's have a look now.
Right.
Range. Specific limitations on range of an arcanum are noted in its description. Oh, no, they're not. If an arcanum's description
read on.
doesn't specify a range, assume it's line of sight. Ah, right, okay. Some arcana transcend space and even time. They can affect targets anywhere or perceive the past or the future. However, using arcana against targets out of sight and unfamiliar to the adept is difficult and often fatiguing, limiting the range of most arcana to somewhat familiar targets or things in the adept's line of sight. Okay, so from the beach, you will be able to see the ship. It's a good distance away. To pick out any individuals on it, you would need to use a spyglass. The proper term for which is temporarily escaped. Telescope.
Did we bring one with us?
I am going to assume that you will have done. It seems likely.
Seems likely that we would have a collapsible one,
Just
as part of being who we are.
Yes, it does.
You see, that's another thing that some GMs will be absolute sticklers for, that if you don't declare every last item that you've brought with you, it's assumed you don't have it.
Yeah, well, Bryan's with some GMs.
Exactly.
There is
tools of the trade, though. There's the tools of the trade.
Also,
those kind of GMs I don't play with.
Yeah, also in Blue Rose it very specifically says, don't worry about bean counting cash or equipment.
Yeah.
If it's something a character would likely have on them, assume they have it on them, unless there's a good reason to think they don't. So unless I've specifically said, you've been taken prisoner and they've stripped all these things from you, then if it's something you should have, you will have.
I actually had a GM one time, because I didn't outright state that I was taking my coat with me, like my duster in a Western setting, but I didn't have it with me.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's
awful.
A level of ridiculous.
Why would you not have it with you?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, I once played in a game where the games master decided that if you didn't tell people you were going to the toilet, you hadn't done. It's like, mate, you've brought this up, we're 6 weeks game time in, you seriously think we have a party that's that constipated? Because if there is, honestly...
Party of camels!
Yeah. If you think we're that constipated, then the dragon is the least of our worries. Get us some Imodium start.
That GM was more full of shit than the characters.
Anyway, to the game. So we're going to assume that you do have the spyglass for the telescope.
Yeah.
So you should be able to contact the members, the people on board the ship. At least one person on deck is going to be familiar to you. Which gives you a +4 modifier to any test you might make to cast the spell. And they will be within range because you can see them and they're familiar.
No, that's not what a +4 is.
It's +4 modifier is all it tells me here.
To the difficulty.
Yes.
Yeah, is that what you were saying? It's not. You don't get to add that to your dice roll.
No, it's right.
That's how much more difficult it is.
Right. Okay. So it's only 4 points more difficult then. Yeah.
But we're not doing any sort of psychic contact allows that to touch another character's mind. So considered present to the adept in terms of the residency, regardless of the physical distance. But on page 91 there, Bryan.
91, yeah.
Yeah, psychic contact.
Psychic contact. Someone can refer to the adept being in psychic contact with the subject. This involves the use of the psychic contact arcanum, allowing the adept to touch another character's mind. Subjects in psychic contact are considered present to the adept in terms of familiarity, regardless of the physical distance between them. Okay. Yeah, psychic contact does not count as a line of sight for arcana requiring it. However, for example, many shaping arcana require line of sight. Right, okay, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Set the difficulty level, and we'll roll some dice.
Okay, is there not a difficulty level mentioned in the arcana thing, or am I going to have to?
In 105, it's psychic contact. You're not making an opposed test.
Right.
So it doesn't. It's one of, like I say, it's one of these funny rules that doesn't seem to have.
There seems to be a link missing. Yes.
Yeah. No. It's got TN 7 plus familiarity.
All right. Well, there you are. There you are. Then it's 11. Yeah. So your
11,
target
right.
number's going to be 11.
You want it to be 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. We can do that.
Yeah, they are a decent distance away, so let's just see how this goes.
So,
Right.
so the more familiar you are,
The less difficult it is. Right. What it's
Mhm.
saying is the TN is 7
mm,
plus whatever's in that chart for familiarity. You've
right.
got to roll that or better.
right.
This is where it's a slightly more complicated set of rules for magic.
So who's the person that's going to do something? Because rather than sitting talking about,
Yeah.
Me, I'll do it.
Oh.
Unless Myval also wants to have a go.
Well, if you fail, then
I was gonna say,
I'll have a
like,
backup.
if you fail, I'll give it a go.
There you go,
okay, so you've
13.
scored 13. Your target number was 7 plus the 4 for familiarity, which is 11. So you're 2 points over it. So yes, you've managed to make contact with, I am going to say, the first mate.
Well, as long as he hasn't broken into the captain's bunk and got drunk. then
No,
we're
no.
Okay.
The first mate is currently wondering what's for dinner.
They'll just say, hello, we're on the shore. We've had a look through the ruin. It's a sea temple, an abandoned sea temple.
Interesting. Well, there are a number of other things on the map that might be of interest, but I suggest we stick to the things around the coast first before we work inland.
Okay. So, what sort of plan do we want to go back to the ship, sail south, and go to the caves down there? Drop off somewhere close, hike over land?
I mean, you can hike over land, just if there's any of the major points of interest inland, maybe don't want to leave your rear open until we've checked the... So you can hike over land, that seems safe enough, if you're cautious. Stay as, don't go too near those mountains. I've got a bad feeling about those mountains.
Okay, you've seen the burial mound in the distance there, or giant mound or whatever it is. I don't know if it's a burial mound.
It looks like a burial mound from what we can see from the crow's nest. I certainly think that bears some investigation, but I just feel perhaps we should... Did you find out where the temple was signalling? We thought it was signalling.
It doesn't appear to be signalling. There's a set of I don't know, mystical lights inside, which are to do with some gemstones, some of which have been stolen.
I see. Right. Okay. Well, if they've been...
And yeah, we encountered a water spirit,
right.
which an enemy managed to talk down from being aggressive, and we have recovered a couple of interesting items. A sword that glows, and a large hunting horn.
Hunting horn.
Description. So I'll just picture these things mentally.
Okay. You picture them, and he gets a good idea of what it is you're talking about. How interesting. Okay. Well, I'm sure one of the shore party can make good use of at least the sword till we find out what the purpose of the horn is. So if you're saying that these gemstones have been stolen, we're probably looking for somebody who might have taken them, but there's no way of knowing whether they're still on the island or whether they're left. I suppose we do have one sign of habitation.
The lighthouse.
A lighthouse.
With its dark light.
Yeah.
Dark light. Oh, sorry. This is a private conversation. I can't join in. Can I?
Nope.
Well, that's a good point. No, you can't.
Yep.
You may make suggestions to Shaun as if you're that little voice in his head that we all have that sometimes comes up with other ideas.
Okay.
But that's as far as you can go.
The lighthouse isn't working the way it should to cloak the island, and gems have been stolen from here. I wonder if those gems project power or whatever's required for the lighthouse to do its job.
Do they complete a circuit?
Yeah.
That's an idea. I'll relay that to the first mate.
Okay, in that case, it might be interesting to go and take a look at the lighthouse. Of course, we do have those sea caves, which on the surface would just appear to be sea caves, but if we are talking about some kind of circuit, then we'd expect to see something at each of the cardinal points. Those sea caves might be the southern, although the island does seem to go further south than that.
Yeah, there's more from the map that we had. We don't have anything south of that southern point, or to the west of that southern point at the very south.
Yeah.
It can't go much further south than that because the paper runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know that's the whole piece of paper?
Exactly.
Paper missing. It's all torn around the edges.
Well, you can see the coastline at the bottom there. If you zoom in, there's a little line that comes. But yeah, I mean, it couldn't go.
It heads west.
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
So
Nothing
as far
to
as
say it doesn't go south again.
No, that's true. There's nothing to say it doesn't. As far as the Diamantina know, they didn't notice anything projecting any further south. They got the impression that this was the southernmost tip of the island here.
Did we discover that the gemstones were pearls?
You did, yes.
Right, because I remember saying we could.
Oh, right, okay, so they weren't gems, they were pearls.
Technically, they were pearls, which isn't strictly speaking a gem. That's correct. Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Hmm.
They're usually lumped in with gems, but strictly speaking, they're not gemstones.
No.
They're basically the
They're an irritation in a bivalve, but I thought for the purposes of like jewelry making and what have you.
Yeah, like Bryan says, I mean
they get lumped in, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's quite a good description. Lump.
I suppose it is. Yeah. Interestingly enough, as well, there's only some types of bivalve that create them. And they're not the edible ones. So when you see these oyster restaurants that have, if you find a pearl, you can keep it. They're fairly safe. They know you're not going to because the type of bivalve you're eating doesn't produce them.
It's like those signs. Free drinks tomorrow.
Yes.
If we go oyster diving, what's the chances of us finding oysters of sufficient size that could produce gems of the required size for these sockets?
That's an interesting point. Earlier when I said we'll be making sure we only roll when I feel it's necessary. I feel it's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this the sort of place that would have that type of oyster?
Yeah, give me a natural law test, which I believe is under intelligence. I will try and find my almost permanently missing. There it is, Games Master screen. So I've got so many of them now for the different age games that I invariably have the wrong one in front of me when I start playing anything.
Is natural law a required focus to make the roll?
Now then, I think for something like this, I'm going to say yes. Usually,
I have natural law.
You have natural law. Go ahead.
Have it, I will do it.
Okay, I am going to say if you've got natural law, it is an average test, so 11 or better. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, you believe that the pearls are a bit on the large side, but there's no reason why you couldn't find bivalves of that size in these waters. But you could rule out, if you saw a collection of oysters that were fist size, you could rule those out. The ones you're looking at would have to be much bigger than that.
Okay. With that in mind,
if you want to go looking for them, I'll observe from up here where it's less
dry. Yeah, where it's dry.
I look over to the other sea folk, give him a nod, and we'll dive back down through the
Flooded temple.
There's like a water area already by design, so I was referring to it as an altar, but we saw the altar, so this would be like the pool, the ceremonial pool.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just.
So you're going to go and look and see if there's any kind of like near the the temple itself, it
Oh
being
yes.
where there's, if they're easy to get, that's the thing. It wouldn't be that you would have to scour everywhere for them, like in the world, I suppose.
The
They'd
thing
be
is,
local
yeah,
prices.
if they use them, chances are they're local. They're unlikely to be imported, I would think. And would they not keep them somewhere near for spares in case of breakages?
Probably.
It's got a cupboard full of light bulbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Now,
so I
my-
don't
my-
see
my to-
your token on there. So
Indeed,
we'll
yes.
drag it out from your character sheet. So let's just have. Now I've got to spell your friggin' name again. And then.
I live in an anemone, which makes
Do,
sense for
do,
anyone
do, do, do.
who's ever seen Finding Nemo.
I haven't.
You've missed out.
I feel that's possibly not the case because it's not my sort of thing. I appreciate it's probably great for the kind of people who are interested in that sort of thing, but it's just I don't really like animations, to be honest.
Well, I love animations.
I do have exceptions. There are some where I'm like, oh, okay, I quite like that. Okay, and we also need to find people that we deleted just earlier, and because they're the other sea folk, aren't they?
No, young Roger's there.
Young Roger's there, is he?
I'm now here.
Maybe those were the two.
An enemy and young Roger. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. We also have Sailor Moon and somebody without a name.
Well, the somebody without a name is, I believe, Shaun's character. And Sailor Moon isn't sea folk, so.
Yep.
Yeah, we just took ourselves down round the corner.
Yeah.
Is the water elemental, water spirit, still here?
Yes, it's still here. It's
Okay, then
doing it a heck of a look.
I will ask him. I will ask them. Are there any oysters in the area that would have replacement pearls?
You assume this is it trying to think and not starting up an engine?
I liked that a lot. It was quite unnerving.
Good, it was intended to be. It's trying to picture what an oyster might be. So it kind of... You're struggling to communicate with it a bit because it doesn't really speak
Yes.
normally. But it seems to be trying to indicate that it doesn't know what
Okay.
the term
If I-
oyster refers to.
If I indicate with my hands
I was just going to suggest that.
the opening and closing hinged nature of the shells, are there any shells in the immediate area? I noticed there's all sorts of bric-a-brac around the place.
There's a lot of coral in the area, but you don't see a lot of shells. Shelves? Shells? You see the odd shelf, but you don't see any shells. No.
As a sea folk, do I not have some manner of shells about my person
Yes,
in
you
my
will do.
clothes?
I would imagine you probably do on a necklace or something. Seems
Yeah,
likely,
probably
doesn't
as like fastenings on clothes or what have you. So if I've got something like a cockle shell, perhaps.
it? Right, it takes a closer look.
Yeah.
And then points back towards the circular chamber, and then motions to the left.
Are you using an effect to do that, or is that purely vocal?
That's purely vocal.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So I could have sworn you were like modulating it or something.
Nope, that's just me.
All right. So he points to the left. Did he say?
The left, yeah,
Okay. Like of this chamber.
of the circular. It indicates the circular chamber,
Ah,
and
right.
then to the left.
Now I've only got line of sight from young Roger for some reason. So I'll be sending him first as my like human torch.
Because your vision was turned off for some reason. There you go.
Still is.
No, it's on now. Oh, your night vision might be off. Okay.
So from here and
Night vision's
and,
off as well. Yeah.
and this away, because we never went this way, did we?
You didn't. No, you came in
Right.
through the southern one, but you never
Yep.
did from the northern one.
Okay.
Okay, as you swim up that, it's as well that you see folk, because you travel a good long distance and you realise that most of the surface dwellers wouldn't be able to hold their breath this long.
Yeah.
You have heard of some that can train themselves to, but it's not a common feat. You swim for several minutes before emerging from the cliff face underneath the water. A good distance away, long enough that most of the surface folk would have drowned on the trip.
Yes.
And you come out at the bottom of these cliffs, and you find in the sand at the bottom a lot of different sized oysters and other bivalves. None of them much larger than the size of your fist, though.
What does that look like there?
That's those like shelf-like coral
Corals.
growths, I think you said.
That's
Like,
correct.
Yeah.
Are they called shelf coral?
Table
Shelf
coral.
coral.
Table coral.
Sorry, yes.
Right.
No, the thing that's on it.
Fish.
Fish.
Nemo.
Yeah, that's clownfish.
We found him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it
Oh my
is
god, is this
clownfish.
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney?
Okay, so yeah, you found some, but none of them seem big enough.
Okay. Looking around a sort of wider area where these things are, maybe deeper. Maybe they're deeper dwelling.
Okay, give me a perception searching test. Then.
Certainly. Searching, not seeing. Yeah.
Searching, not seeing. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do one for the sea folk.
Will do.
Young Roger as well. Okay, after you've searched the area and gone a bit deeper, you've realised you've spent a good hour searching the area now, and you can find none of these seafoods, I want to say, because I'm hungry, probably why. None of these bivalves are large enough to produce the pearls that were used in the temple. You're looking for something at least twice the size of the largest one you found, possibly bigger.
Okay. Could it be that the horn that we found increases the size of oysters to make the correct size pearls?
I don't think that you have any way of knowing the answer to that
Unless
without
I blow
trying
it.
it. Yes. I don't know, actually. You might do. Let's have a look. Try an intelligence arcane law test.
Do I need arcane law to make the test, or can it be from flat intelligence?
No, you will need the...
Don't have it.
Yeah, okay. In that case, neither of you know enough about magic to be certain.
And while we do have two psychics in the party, only they can initiate psychic contact.
Correct.
Not the other way. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
So, speaking of which, what are the rest of the party doing while Anemone and Roger are...
It's saying that an enemy can speak to Myval without needing to do psychic contact.
Even at distance?
Yes.
Yeah, it works pretty much the same way as psychic contact. It's just that. So if you want to say anything, give us a shout.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like on the psychic contact rules, it's basically saying if you've established psychic contact with somebody, range then doesn't matter anymore at that point.
Right.
And if you're very familiar with the person, it's also another plus to it. You don't have to roll. You psychic contact you would, but because of the Rybon,
it's a Rybon.
Is a special, better version of it.
Yes.
Right.
Right, and only get one, I think, or is it one every so many levels? I just forget.
You'd have to look at the rules again.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not important right now. It's
Yeah.
very much a thing for checking between sessions, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, what are the rest of the party doing whilst these two are away oyster fishing?
That's a very good question. I suppose we'd basically be making a camp and making a plan to then head overland, I suppose, if
Yeah.
that's the thing.
I would like to check for snacks.
Okay, yes, you can check for snacks. What sort of snacks do you have in mind? No idea what.
Raccoons will eat anything.
Well, there is.
So find the nearest dumpster.
So, this camp, is it on the beach or is it a little bit further inland?
We'd be sort of hiding ourselves, as it were, so we'd be somewhere near the tree line, I would expect, if there's a tree line, or if
there's a tree line.
Not
Okay.
within the floodplain.
Right, okay, so you're within the
we'd be
tree
above.
line, but close enough to see your boat, presumably, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. Then I think that this will do. Where is it?
Attack of the howler monkeys.
So I need to copy just the map and light, and not the tokens. Or the GM. There we go. Oh, actually, there is one token. I think I should probably have copied. Copy that one. Go back to.
I'll relay the plan to the first mate that they've gone pearl diving
Right, you are.
while we're setting up camp.
Okay, well, he suggests you take every precaution, but then you'd kind of planned on taking every precaution anyway, so oops, it is. I just need to grab you all again from the last place you were all together was here, so wrong one. I keep getting these two levels confused. Ah, come on. Da, 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 da. Okay. The hell? Okay, I'm leaving you on that page for a moment. I'm just going to try and find young Roger. And I'm going to go and investigate the strange noise that's emerging from downstairs in our house.
Is it the music that I can hear?
No, the music's on the game, but there's a strange rattling noise, so I'll be back in a moment.
I did just hear a very odd noise, actually, that I don't think was part of the music.
Was it crunching noise, was it?
No, it was kind of like a weird ass squeak. I think it might have been Marie.
Right, sorry about that. Turns out it was my wife putting fresh cat litter in the cat's litter tray downstairs, which I thought I'd done this morning, but it turns out what I'd done is I had emptied the litter tray, I had washed the litter tray, I had gotten distracted and wandered off.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so there you are. You should all be on the beach now.
Yes.
Excellent, and you can all see. We don't have to worry about.
I'm gonna go check out this pool for yummies.
Right, you are. Yes, you can find. You find a few things in the pool that you think, oh, that looks interesting. Sort of little shellfish and stuff like that. Too small to be the ones that an enemy's off looking for, obviously.
But not too small to be a delicious snack.
No,
Well,
just perfect for you. Yeah, Welks, that sort of thing. Yeah.
as long as it's not candy floss and you're not trying to wash it.
Oh.
Oh, poor raccoon.
Disappointment
raccoon-
on his little face.
I
Though.
know.
That raccoon did get some more candy floss later on. There was a happy ending to that story.
Did it just wash the next lot as well, though? That's a good
No.
I'm curiously enough having a bit of trouble finding the campfire, so just assume there is one. So you guys are setting up the campfire when the two sea folk, who I've just deleted, and I just realised I might as well have not done that, emerge from the water after there. So I'll just put them back on. Hold on. So we've got young Roger and an enemy. You're emerging from the water after about an hour's worth of
Searching?
fruitless searching.
Yeah.
You can see Myval is kind of picking through the rock pool. This is one of my maps, by the way. Myval is picking through the rock pool, trying to find anything of interest. Every now and again, the kind of little furry face comes up, and it's got something gripped in its paws, which just bangs on the rock till it breaks open.
Is this not the same map from the island where we restocked and fought the giant crab?
No, it's a different map.
It looks like it.
It's
Right,
a
okay,
different
yes, it
island.
is. It's been pressed into. It looks very similar. Yes,
But
very
it's,
similar.
it's that kind of
coast.
it's that kind of terrain though. It's that archipelago. All the islands have got
Oh.
very much the same flora.
Yeah,
and fauna.
absolutely. You know, like one bit of coast on an island in a certain region is going to look very much like another.
Well,
The,
quite.
the,
Yes.
the thing is, like I looked at it and recognised it was instantly
Oh,
recognisable.
well, that's kind of interesting.
That's
yeah.
the killer tree there.
The killer tree was on a different map. This was where you fought the giant crab. Yeah, it's interesting you should say that though, because in Fallen Kingdom nobody's noticed yet that out of the 8, I think, inns they've visited, they've actually visited only 2 different inn maps. All I've been doing is rotating them.
Yeah. Thing is,
All right, Varro.
had you flipped this horizontally,
Yeah, you might not
so
notice.
east west, I probably wouldn't have got it.
Do you know, I probably should have done, because you're on the east. Never mind. We'll get that bizarre coast thing happening again. Anyway, I'm still trying to find the campfire, which I know I've got a campfire, but it's just not turning up. So you two guys continue. You've managed to build a campfire. Just, it's a bizarre, invisible campfire. And Myval's cheerfully eating small creatures from the rock pool, and some of the others are pulling fruit off the trees and whatnot.
If there's a campfire, Myval is now doing like a really weird version of, when you like cook mushrooms, not mushrooms, marshmallows on a stick,
Yes.
but it's shellfish on a stick.
Right, okay, yeah.
Probably smells really bad. Sorry, guys. But absolutely delicious.
Okay, so it's whelk kebabs then.
Anybody got any garlic butter?
Yes, I carry some in my pocket at all times.
Well, when you're vampire hunting,
Always wise.
the other thing though, did young Roger and an enemy actually pick up any of these shellfish?
Up
For
to them.
food.
Did you?
Honestly, we weren't looking for food.
But would you not have done it anyway?
I can't honestly say that we would have done. I didn't think of it at the time. Unless it's like standard practice for sea folk to gather food anytime they're down there, because it makes good sense.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily standard practice, but if the party are hungry, then I will assume you will have been as well, in which case...
Okay, reasonable
yeah,
enough then, yes.
I would say you've probably collected some... somebody's drawn us a little fire. There we go.
Hello, I did that.
Ah,
That's,
right, okay.
that's my artistic efforts for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we're now sending up a smoke signal.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, was that a joke or are you actually sending up a smoke signal?
Well, both in effect.
Right, okay. Well, there is...
We've lit a fire on a beach.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good point. So it will become noticeable to...
By people within distance, yeah.
Aye, that's right. Okay. Also, I did think you were building the camp a little bit in the tree line, but you appear to
Oh,
have...
well, that's where I was going to be. Was further up here, sort of in this sort of area.
Okay, did you just want to move the fire up there? You can...
Can you do that?
If you highlight and drag a box around those things, you should be able to take it as an object
be
and
able
put it
to.
over there.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
move it.
And Seaman Storm, apparently.
There you go.
Didn't know you could do that. That's really cool.
yeah. That actually doesn't look too bad, that. So we might just...
Oh,
Oh,
thank
that
you.
was weird.
See-
Steven Storm seems to have picked up the hover text for the door.
Oh, yeah, so they do. Okay.
He's a doorman.
Okay, so you're sat there beginning to make a few plans and cook something to eat, and you're all having a drink and a hearty meal of oysters and whelks and so forth, cooked over the fire so that nobody gets
Poison.
food poisoning from it. Yeah, sorry, my concentration's a little bit iffy today. But
Entirely understandable, mate.
my players are well aware of why, but just for the people at home, my mother was rushed into the stroke ward 2 days ago, and we discovered that she's not well at all. So I'm a little bit distracted, so apologies. Okay, so you are having a meal. The smell of the cooked fuck's sake,
Yeah.
shellfish.
I was just going to ask if it was counted as a long rest kind of thing.
Ah, interesting. Well, it can be if you want it to be. I don't see any reason why not. So that would be like several hours if you want to spend several hours making your plans for.
Well, I'm only 12 points down, so breather gives you 5 plus con. Yeah.
It does,
Plus your level.
but have you already
Plus
had
level.
a breather for these injuries?
No.
I don't know.
No, you haven't.
You haven't.
No,
then
no,
then a
that's fine.
breather might suffice. So it's up to you.
Right.
Bear
Okay.
in mind, those of you have any fatigue points gathered from casting spells, that a longer rest might be an idea. But it'll certainly count as at least a breather, because a breather is anything over 5 minutes.
No, I don't think we accumulated any fatigue because we didn't cast
No.
any fatiguing spells.
Okay. That's no problem. Okay.
I have a bad habit of doing that type of thing, of picking stuff that doesn't require additional penalties.
Well, yeah. Okay, so if people would like to give me perception hearing test for each character, please. I'm going to say that, well, actually, I'm going to make a roll in a moment. Let me just see.
And how many crew do we have with us? Or do we roll once for all the crew as one?
Yeah, roll once for all the crew, just for ease, I think.
Okay. $15 being the highest coming from the crew.
Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a single roll. Whispered. So that you don't know if I'm actually making a roll at all, and if so, what for. Because really, it's only important to get a single roll from anything like groups, because you assume that was the worst. Do you know what I mean? You either heard the group or you didn't. Oh, what an interesting way of spelling that. Okay, so this is going to come as a bit of a surprise then. So, as you are sat about the fire, laughing and joking and whatnot, Suddenly there is a whistling sensation past Thaldron's head, and Seaman Storm topples over with a crossbow bolt sticking out of his shoulder. Ah! Boom! Down he goes.
Jesus.
So let me just have a quick roll to see how much damage they just took. Crossbow. Thunk. Boom. 8 points.
I feel like Seaman Storm nearly got taken out by the crab as well. This
I
poor
know.
guy.
He is. He's like a hazard magnet, isn't he? Okay, so it appears that you may be in trouble. Just give me a second.
He's a very
grab
large
some-
rectangular target. That's why he keeps getting hit.
That must be it, yeah. So I'm just going to go over here and grab some... Oh, come on, hurry up. Okay, so my Roll20 page is currently just a black loading page. Aha. There we go. Okay. Copy. I'm going to grab them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5. That's all I needed to know. So, you're aware that there must be some hostiles out there somewhere because somebody's just shot at you. And a lot of somebodies are now shooting at you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 4 more attacks. And then we're going to roll to see if you've spotted where these attacks are coming from. So these attacks will go 1 for each player character and 1 against Sailor Moon, I think we'll have as well. So let's start with getting this one. Let's start with Sailor Moon. The shot, she's in cover from where they are, so a bit of a penalty. Oh, 16, 6 stunts, that's a hit. So they're going to do a rapid reload and a lightning attack, and they're going to fire again. So Sailor Moon's been hit once and missed once. And has taken 7 points of damage. So she's down and screaming in pain as well.
Should have known this wasn't nice, relaxing party on the beach music, like.
Yeah, it didn't really sound like it, did it? Okay, so I'm going to take a shot at each of you, just in the order your names are on my screen. So Myval, you're up next. What's your defense?
Oh god, yeah.
I'm still
14.
on whisper here because I don't want you to know what's shooting at you just yet.
14.
14, and I've just scored 13. So as an arrow whistles past, it's actually a crossbow bolt, whistles past Myval. Yes, exactly. And the next one up, this will be against Thaldron. And that scores a 15 with 5 stun points. Does that hit? Bearing in mind that where you are, you have... Let's see, where's Thaldron? Oh, you have 3 points of cover.
Sorry, I was on mute. No, that won't hit me.
That won't hit you. Right you are.
No.
So let me just check and see where an enemy is. From where an enemy is, you have 2 points of cover. So the shot against you is 17. Is that a hit?
So that would be my defense plus the 2 points of cover.
Yes, that's right.
Up raising the defense. That would only be 15, so yes.
Ah, that one's been a hit as well. So you've been shot. It's a grazing shot. It just kind of zips past your arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's gouged a little bit out of your arm, but it's only done 3 points of damage.
I've got 3 points of armor.
Oh, so it hasn't even done that, then it's just kind of put a mark along your armor.
Yeah.
And then you hear a "Ah!" as forms come crashing out of the woods. Bosh. There we go. So these guys are now charging towards you. I'll just move these back a little bit. Charging towards you.
Well, I guess they are actually pirates.
They are actually pirates, so I'm going to take... Well, they're using the pirate stat block, certainly.
Yeah.
And these are pirates. You don't know for certain that these are what attack the...
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, purely just a bit of meta humour.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. So if I take the whisper off these guys, and if you would all like to give me just a second to open the turn order and make sure that it's cleared off properly. There we go. It's definitely cleared off properly. Okay, start giving me initiative tests, please.
For each crewman individually?
Each crewman individually this time, yes. Okay. Right, I'm just going to pop the pirate stats out onto my second screen. That way I don't have to worry about it obscuring my view too much. Has everybody made their rolls?
Yeah, for my character one. Right, you putting them all the crew in there for us, Patrick.
All the ones that I can actually control, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, is there anybody you can't control?
I can control Moon, Storm, and young Roger. I can't control Harold.
I can. Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Got hold of him. There you go.
Excellent, right you are. So let's order these descending. And first up, Shaun, it's you to go. So these pirates are charging through the trees towards you. There's sudden
Oh
attack.
dear. What do we do? What do we do? Right. So I'm going to attempt to summon a psychic weapon.
Right, go for it.
Where's my spells go? Never on the spells page.
Yes.
Let's see if this works. Oh no, I'm on the focuses. Let's see if this works. It's at the top there. Click the cast button. And let's see what it does. Oh, that failed.
Yeah. So in the panic, you're trying to summon this this psychic sword, and you just get this sort of fizzle of energy, and it just crackles out. So that was one action. I don't know whether that's. I think that's a minor action for you.
That's a minor action, yeah.
So you still have a major action. What would you like to do?
I'm going to draw a normal sword then in that case.
Okay, so you draw a normal sword and prepare to be rushed by the pirates. Pirate number 15 is going to come hurtling out of the thing.
And I will... no, I can't do anything else then, can I? At that point, no.
Nope.
That's right.
Okay, so he's going to get to within striking distance of you. Now, because you're fighting around this tree, you can do that whole thing you see in swashbuckling films where you're kind of using the tree as cover. So since you're the defender, you will get 2 points added to your defense. But you will suffer 1 point of attack against the pirate as well. Okay, so the pirate is going to attempt to, I think he's got a axe, right you are, so he's, oh no, wait a minute, yes, that's an axe. So he's going to axe you a question. 13, I think that's a miss. So he comes running in, overhead swing with the axe, and instead of hitting you, it like sticks in one of the branches above, and he's cursing and pulling it out. Myval, what are you to do?
Oh, spotting this guy, I'm gonna run over here and bite his leg.
Right you are. You run over there to bite the leg of the first pirate into the fray. Go for it. 11. Okay, he sees you coming and kind of kicks out. You duck under the kick, but unfortunately it means you don't get to sink your little fangs into the pirate. The next pirate up is this guy here, so he's going to charge Seaman Harold. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. So he's come running up to hit Seaman Harold with what appears to be a sword. So he gets +1 on his hit because he charged. Oh, that's a hit. 19. So he wangs Harold for 6 points of damage. That's upsetting. Okay, so who's up next? It is an enemy up next. Patrick, you to go.
I think you're on mute.
I was. Right. I can't see Seaman Harold's hit points.
It's alright, I've adjusted them for you. He's got 9 left.
Right. Okay. So Seaman Storm is the worst off in terms of injury,
Yeah.
but Seaman Harold is in the worst threat.
Yeah,
So
that seems...
so triage wise, now then, I don't think I can move and heal yet, can I?
Well, move would be a minor action.
Oh no, it is. It is. It's medicine. I've got the medicine talent. So yes,
Okay.
I can move for a minor and heal for a minor.
Right,
So
yes.
that is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
If I can do it with some pantomime of being an agent of the Seed God
Right.
while I do it, because once I get these guys healed up, I want to try to intimidate them.
Okay. Give me a communications deception, please.
Right.
Sorry, I'm really
got-
struggling to bring
No worries.
words to mind at the moment.
I don't have deception, so can I use flat communication?
Yes, you can.
So that is a 9 to heal, and I can't remember what the target number is.
11.
So the healing has failed, and it's an 11 for the communication.
So 11 for the communication. Okay. So, he is not entirely convinced, but he suspects you might be. He sees what
Right.
you're getting at, and he's like, oh god, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing a pirate wants to do is upset the sea gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so he's a little bit nervous as a consequence, but
Mhm.
not enough yet to affect him.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. I've got more tricks up my sleeve yet.
Okay, Seaman Storm to go next. Who would like to operate Seaman Storm?
I can operate Seaman Storm. Can anybody else operate him?
I can too.
Do you want to?
I don't mind either way. I appear to have control of
Okay,
Seaman Storm or Sailor Moon, so
Same. So I'm happy to do like one
Well,
each if you want, or
yeah, do one each. You've just gone.
oh,
so,
actually, I don't appear to be able to move Seaman Storm.
Okay,
Can move Sailor Moon.
okay, so you take Sailor Moon, and Patrick, you take Seaman Storm.
Okay, and Seaman Storm is going to lob a rock with his sling at
Oh.
Bless you.
at this pirate here, and thank you.
Okay, go for it. So you quickly grab a rock off the ground, pop it into a sling, swing it round your head, and release. Thump.
Yeah.
It goes
Yes.
arcing across and it smacks the onrushing pirate who didn't see it coming. So roll the damage. 6 damage, and the pirates aren't wearing any armor either, so -6. Doink. That hits him on the side of the head. You can already see there's massive swelling and bruising coming up where he's been clocked with this rock. And it is Pirate 12 next. Arr. This one is going to attempt to charge from there. I think probably Sailor Moon. So let's see if the pirate can... Oh yes, 12. Going to be able to reach. So he comes charging across the sand with a wet smacking sound, his feet churning up the wet sand as he's coming, and he leaps forwards and thrusts a blade towards Sailor Moon, who desperately brings up her own blade in an attempt to block it. Oh, unfortunately it was a feint, and he runs Sailor Moon through the stomach. So let me just see what their preferred attacks are. Lightning attack he's going to take, and I've got 6 points of stunt, so I'm going to need more than that. He's going to skirmish and knock back as well, I think. Get ideally them out of the way. So skirmish and knock prone. Prone marker. And let's just do the damage. He's
So you
fairly...
might not need them.
You what, sorry?
I was going to say you might not need them.
Yes. Oh,
Woo.
3 points of damage, so he hasn't done anything like the damage he was expecting to do. Let me just reduce this by 3. But unaware of that fact, he's already turned his attention to young Roger, who he's going to attempt to hit with his second attack. So, short sword. Oh God! Okay,
Wow.
well he doesn't get any more stunts because this was generated by stunts, so it's just a straight hit. But he's hit young Roger for 4 points. I'll just take the 4 off there.
But that's because young Roger's looking the
Wrong
other way.
direction. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he knows which way he should be looking now, so he starts to turn around, and as it happens, it's young Roger to go.
I can control him, but Louise, can you?
I can as well.
Well, Shaun, do you want to take young Roger? And then each of you's got one of the.
What about Seaman Harold, though? Because I think I'm the only person that can control Seaman Harold.
Right, okay. So who would like to take young Roger, or do you want me to do it?
I've already got Sailor Moon, so
I'll handle young Roger.
Not for long.
I know.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what. You take Sailor Moon as well, and since you take young Roger as well, and since Sailor Moon's going to be out of this fight pretty quickly, unless somebody helps.
Okay. Well, right, hang on. Roger is going to attack that guy back somehow. Let me see what he has. It's a bill hook, like a big ass hook.
A bill hook is sort of it's a tool that's kind of got a heavy weighted, almost axe-like head, and a hook on it. They're used on board ships to pull away burning rigging and whatnot. But they make quite an effective axe-like weapon.
That sounds good. Because gonna be pretty pissed about this guy.
Yeah. 12, I think, is a miss.
Really?
It's not actually, it's a hit, but it's only just barely a hit. So, as he's concentrating on fighting two of you at once, young Roger's managed to strike in sideways and plant him one. Roll the damage, let's see how it goes. 8, right, oh, well, that's certainly made your point.
To the face.
Yeah, so you've slashed open his side, he's gushing blood. He's in a very, very bad way from the first blow. Ah! He's now almost as badly off as... he's about on a par with Seaman Storm. Let's put it that way. Next pirate, please. That would be this one. He's going to run in to attempt to help his friend. Just make sure he can get there. Yes, he can. He comes charging in to try and fend off young Roger, and he's using 2 hand axes, so he's going to attempt to hit you with an axe. 16 with 5 stones. Really, really sorry.
Crew's getting a kick in, aren't they?
Right. So he's going to do a lightning attack again, and he's also going to. Got 3 more points. Well, he's going to have to do an extra dice damage, or he can't see a way around this. Also, I do think, that these have got... No, they haven't. Right, okay. Okay, so the axe is going to do this, plus this. So the axe has done 10 points of damage to Roger, who's now in critical condition. So he comes in, and as Roger's sliced the first pirate, this one comes running in with his 2 axes. Ah! Swings 1 axe and hooks Roger's blade out of the way, and then upwards blow whacks him right in the chest with the other axe. Roger goes staggering backwards. He's coughing blood. He's in an extremely bad way. Strong breeze will finish him off at this point. Nightfolk pirates can stay where he is and reload his crossbow. Then he's going to look for someone to shoot. And from there, he's probably noticed Sailor Moon isn't actually dead. But then he doesn't want to kill everyone. He wants prisoners. So from there, he can't really... Oh, yeah, he can. He's got Myval over there. So he's going to shoot Myval. Aren't you pleased? You are through the woods, so I'm going to give you a point of cover.
I'm calling Petter.
Sticks in the tree behind you.
Isn't
just
that
falls.
a shoots his own man in the back?
The
Oh,
very
shit.
thing I was going to mention as well.
3-1, actually. No, yeah, okay. He's shot the pirate over there in the back instead. So it sticks in something, but it ain't the... Ah, what you shooting, dickhead?
Comrade Nightfall Pirate.
Okay, so...
And Myval goes, cheers, mate.
yes. Seaman Harold to go next.
Well, he's obviously going to turn around and whack this backstabber.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I say obviously, he says he's going to try.
Yeah.
Are these guys using the bill hooks effectively?
No, these guys are using short swords and
No, our side.
Oh, your side, you've got bill hooks, yes.
Take that, you fiend. No, that won't hit him.
11, no, it won't, I'm afraid. So
Okay.
up next we have Sailor Moon.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
He's going to stand firm at this point.
Okay, you're going to stand firm. Sailor Moon to go next. What would you like to do?
Crawl behind a rock.
I'm not die.
Save young Roger.
Yeah, I was going to say, just sees Roger come in and try and save her and then come out of it worse. So she's also going to try and bill hook this guy.
Okay, +1 to hit then because he's having to fight 2 of you off.
Are you
Yeah.
going to stand up as well?
Oh, yeah, flip. I was prone, wasn't I?
Yeah. So you crawl across the sand and as you're standing up, you bring your bill hook up. Roll to hit.
Yeah, I would if I'd opened the right character sheet. I'm like, why does this say bite? Oh, that's better.
16, it was 6 stun points. That's a definite hit. And obviously you've done something special. What would you like it to be?
Good question.
Yeah.
Does this game have the dual strike stunt in it for 4 points?
I can't remember, but I'm certainly willing to allow the dual strike stunt for 4 points.
That sounds good to me. Where?
Because you
the
can hit
heck
both
is the
those guys in
stun
front of
handout
you.
gone?
Where do you want what now? Sorry.
I was looking for the stunned handout, but we appear to not have one. So let me.
Dual strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your attack is so strong it affects 2 targets. First, pick a secondary target. This target must be adjacent to you if you are using a melee weapon. You're using melee, yes.
Yeah.
Bell hook.
Mhm.
Apply
Yeah,
the test result of your original attack roll to the secondary target.
Okay.
In other words, you make only 1 attack roll and apply it to both opponents.
Okay.
If you hit the secondary target, roll your damage as normal for them also.
So if you chose to do that, then you would hit both of them. Or I will just check for the stunts, which should be in
Yeah,
here
I'm good
right
with
now.
that. I would have 2 stunned points left.
Extra
Ooh,
damage.
nice.
Extra damage on the first guy.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, may I suggest extra damage on the second guy? Because the
Okay,
first guy
okay. You
looks
can't-
like
you-
he's about to
You
drop
can't
on
apply. You can't apply the extra damage to the second
Oh, no,
guy.
you can't. You can't.
Can
Because
I?
he's-
Okay.
He's a target generated by stunts.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
You can only do the initial
Yes.
one, I think.
Okay.
Or can you? That's always a question that's bothered me. Right? Strict interpretation of the rules, you would think that you couldn't apply it to the second target in a dual strike. But is it all one action?
Well, it is
Can I
actually
do-
one
It's-
action. Sorry, Louise.
Yeah,
yes, go ahead.
it's 1
Right.
attack.
we
Can
let
I
Louise
also
speak?
do an Anne Robinson impression here? Because I only take the first answer, and the first answer was Bryan suggesting that I use it on the second guy. So
Yeah, go on.
Good.
I'll allow that. Yeah.
thank you.
If you're okay with it, Brian,
I'm
in
okay
that
with
situation,
it. Yes, I'm okay with it.
and it may be why they dropped that stun.
I'm certainly okay with that.
Right.
So,
Okay. So what we're rolling damage.
You're rolling
Yeah.
standard damage for the first guy,
Yeah.
and then damage plus an extra dice on. Oh, right. So you stab the this guy. You may describe how you cause him to cease being a threat.
Straight through the heart.
Yeah.
Blame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, using a bill hook, so that's probably going to be pretty messy.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay,
We're
so
playing two roles, which is lovely. Oops, I've just hit someone with a bill hook and now they're everywhere.
yes, okay, that's interesting. I've never seen it do that. Oh, because I pressed the wrong. Fuck's sake, mind.
You scratched a big red X on his forehead.
It certainly looks like it. Probably
Yeah,
more
it
of
seems to have
chest.
changed though, because now it just puts the X. It used to be like
Yeah.
a socking great X that went straight through.
You
me.
mean the one that
it's-
just flashed on and
It
off?
is flashing, yes.
Ah, right, okay. I think it's because I haven't actually done this bit yet, and it won't allow me to put a big X till it knows.
Right.
Sure, you
Uh,
take all of the
okay,
health
okay,
off them.
okay.
Yes.
Right.
aye. So you,
That would
It's automated.
yeah. So Sailor Moon runs up behind that one, swings the bill hook round, and slices down through the guy's back. He arches his back, but he's just penetrated with such depth with his bill hook that it sliced through his aorta. There's blood everywhere, gushing out, and he bleeds out in faster than he can blink and just topples over dead before he even knows he is dead. Go ahead and roll the damage plus an additional dice to the second guy as she
Yep.
kind of pirouettes around and slaps the bill hook, now bloody from his friend's lifeblood, into the second pirate.
There you
9.
go.
Ouch. Right, okay. So -9 on him. He's in quite a bad way as well.
Anyone else want to go?
Well, Shaun, it's the next combat round and it's you to go.
Right, I suppose I'm going to have to attack the pirate to the north of me
Okay.
for want of targets. So, do I need to move to hit him?
No, you don't.
Hello.
Sorry, I had a mouthful of coffee there. No, you don't need to move to him.
Move there, don't need to move to hit him. Right, well, I swing the old ordinary sword. What's his dex?
His dex is 2.
Yeah, so we're going to be pinpointing him then.
Okay.
14.
That's a hit.
Yeah. Notice I've got a fatigue marker against me as well.
Right, okay, yes.
So that's a hit, and he takes 6 damage.
He takes 6 points of damage.
Well, I generate 6 points of damage, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to stand firm where I am.
Okay, so you slice across his chest. He's very badly injured. He was distracted trying to get rid of Myval, the raccoon.
And his buddy shot him in the back.
And his buddy shot him in the back as well. Yeah, he's not having a great day. He's thinking of employee
He wants a
compensation.
word with the manager.
Yeah. Yep, Karen the pirate there. So it is a pirate. I think it's him to go next, actually. It is, right. Possibly unsurprisingly, he decides enough's enough. And he's going to disengage by smacking one of you. He's probably going to aim for the annoying raccoon.
Parlay?
So he is going to stab at the raccoon on the way out. 17 and 6 stun points. So he's going to knock you back. Boing, boing to there. He's then going to knock you over. Actually, he's going to knock you. He's going to skirmish you still further because what he wants to do is get away. So he's going to skirmish you to there. So that's 2 points. Then he's going to knock you to the ground. So the force of his on sort of blizzard of attacks drives you backwards and causes you to topple over a root
Hit this rock.
and hit that rock. Right. You also take. He's going to do some extra damage as well with his last few points. So a total of bloody hell, 13 points damage.
Bloody hell.
I think that was a maximum he could have rolled, there, wasn't it? Not quite. He could have got 1 point higher. And then he is going to do a runner with his last action. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He gets to there. My value to go next.
I'm going to get up out of prone and undaze myself.
Okay, so that's half your movement.
This is a pirate, isn't it?
It is,
Mhm.
yes.
Cool. I'm gonna try and get in and bite him then.
Right, you are. So you jump up, shake off the stone, and go running across the ground and jump at this pirate in an attempt to bite him somewhere hurty. Make an
Probably
attack
look
roll.
pretty rabid there as well.
At this
Hey!
with 5 stunned points.
Oh god.
Oh, dear.
Right.
There's a
Stun
very
point.
high stunned point action, this isn't it? I've just realised there's somebody else that's still got a door attached to
Some
them.
of the blooming. Whoa, what's going on?
I'm just moving you so I can get rid of that door marker that's...
Alright. I still haven't found the blooming stunts. Where are they?
I'm surprised I haven't put them in. I thought I had.
If you're doing damage, you can go lethal.
I
Extra
don't
2 dice.
necessarily want to do that. No. Like, I've already killed some of my
Pretty much. Okay, I don't appear to have... I could have sworn we had the stunts in last week.
Okay, I've got my thing open. I'm just trying to find out which page they're on.
Maybe we were just reading from... Because we've all got the rulebook on this one, so it could have been that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't look like I've put the stunts in.
Okay, so
1.
combat stunts. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
Why is this taking me to entirely the wrong page?
Of course.
Honestly, PDFs. Why? How many have I got there? 5.
5.
I mean, if you're not wanting to kill him, providing you get him down to 1 hit point or 0 hit points, can't remember which, you can always say like you're sparing him, like you're pulling the blow. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm
0
just
hit
check-
points you can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking what stunts I'd use. And what would make sense to use. I'm actually going to try and skirmish him out of the way.
Okay, just ping where you want him moved to and I'll move him. Each 1 stunned point you use to skirmish him can move him 2 squares.
Oh, that would be towards the boat. I'll not do that one. 2 squares, did you say? Sorry.
Yes. Yep.
Trip him into the fire.
Right,
No.
over here then.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 squares in total. That's 3 stun points that uses. So you
Oh,
come
blimey.
rushing in, you jump on him, and you're attacking him so savagely, it's
Yeah.
driving him back and back and back, till eventually he's like scurrying away from this psychotic raccoon. So you've
Did I still do some damage there as well?
yeah, you still do damage. You've still got 2 stun points left as well.
Oh, well, that's my damage. I'm going to skirmish him a bit further, actually, if that's alright.
Okay, yeah. So you're just using the whole lot to cut. So
Yeah.
we'll say that he runs away to explain that level of stunting. He's in a very, very bad way as you've savaged his finger. In fact, as you've jumped in and savaged his hand, and he and then he like flings his arm around. You go tumbling off, and he runs away. You still have his finger in your mouth.
You were looking for snacks.
Oh!
You
Are
got
you
yourself some
now
finger
going?
food.
Okay, and this pirate here, seeing that things are very much on the turn, is going to attempt to stab Seaman Harold and then run for it. So he's going to use his short sword. 12. Is that a hit on Seaman Harold?
Oh, hang on.
Just.
Okay, in that case, he is going to do 6 points of damage and skirmish him into the fire.
Yikes. What a bastard.
So as Seaman Harold's like fighting this guy, he pushes him forward, clang, clang, the swords clashing as he's pushing the guy forward and pushing him forward. And Seaman Harold trips and goes tumbling into the fire. He's, oh, ooh, ooh, ah! He rolls and he's currently beating the flames out. The pirate's taking this opportunity to leg it. Okay, so next up we have an enemy.
Right. I want to try to put the fear of God into them.
Right, okay, yeah.
I want if they're going to get away, unless we're going to pursue them, run them down, which will get rid of this one contingent of threat.
Mhm.
What I'm thinking of doing is putting such fear into them that when they get back to their leader, the other pirates, they have this terrible horror story of how they were not only repelled, but something really freaky happened. And I want to do the
Okay.
following.
Okay.
Mad raccoon.
So, holding my trident in one hand and drawing the sword that we found in the temple in the other.
Uh-huh.
Now, bearing in mind, this can be made to glow at will. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right. Then I say the following. By salt and rock, wind and sea, Lord Galaneer, we call upon thee. And I shine the sword directly at them.
Right, okay. So as the sword bursts into light and shines down towards the fleeing pirates, that seems to speed them up a little bit. Ah! Run for it. Okay, that was your...
Smoke and smoke? Is he a ham?
What?
It's from Game of Thrones.
It is, yeah.
Oh, right.
Seaman Storm to go next. What would they like to do? I'm going to make a roll for the pirates and see how intimidated they are, but I think that's probably likely to be something that spreads through the...
Yes.
You know, as they go back, they're going to tell the story either way, aren't they?
Yeah, they lost, one of them died, and then this really freaky thing happened with a sea folk.
Yeah. Do you want to give me an intimidation roll, actually? It would normally be under strength, but I will allow you to couple it with communication instead.
Okay. Well, I've got communication persuasion.
Okay.
So that's just flat persuasion, just flat communication.
It is, yeah, yeah.
With whatever bonus you will give me for roleplay and for using an existing item in a creative fashion.
Go on, then I'll give you a bonus for that. No. 8.5 plus 1 for that.
Thank you.
16 with 2 stunt points. No, 1 stunt point.
One stump. Yeah.
Okay, so they've all failed. So they're
Nice.
definitely going to be, like, literally every one of them has failed. So they're definitely going to be telling this story when they get back to base, back to their ship, and they're going to be shaken with terror when they tell it, which means that's going to start spreading through the pirate group as they're convinced that these people, beloved of the sea god, are on the island. So that's going to have quite a major effect about how the pirates relate to you for the rest of the adventure. They're going to be a lot more nervous of you than they were before.
And for my one point of stunts,
Yeah.
I will take. I assume it's in French, so bon mot.
Bon mot, yeah.
Bon mot,
Yeah.
right. Tagging a scything comment onto the end.
Okay. Go on then.
Face us again, and you will die like your friend.
Nice one. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like they've got any intention of facing you again, to be fair. So, Seaman Storm, what does he want to do?
Sling a rock at them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so coming forward, he picks up another rock off the beach and puts it in his sling, spinning the sling above his head. He releases one end and the rock arches forwards for this pirate at the rear, the vicious one with the axe that nearly killed young Roger. 12 is a hit. It's only just a hit, but that'll do. And 4 points of damage, and it cracks his skull wide open and kills him outright.
And another thing.
You've
Just
lost
to hammer
another
the
friend.
point home. Hammer the point.
Literally.
Yes. Okay, so it would be this pirate up next.
Who's dead?
Dead. That tends to make them a bit slower, I find. Young Roger to go next. What does he want to do?
Sit down.
I think he's probably gonna like bleed a bit.
Okay, he sort of collapses onto the wet sand. He sort of sits down first and then lies back. The sand turning red around him as it's bleeding out from his fairly savage wound. This pirate is also dead. The Nightfolk pirate that's covering everybody else fired last round, so he will reload and then run.
I was gonna say.
Well, that was awkward. I mean,
So shift him off there. Seaman Harold.
he's only going to be on 3 health because the 6 doesn't come off him that he suffered, and whether he suffered any fire from damage or not.
No, he
is
didn't.
up to you. Right.
Luckily
So
for him, he
he's-
was wearing a large coat, which the coat is on fire, but he's managed to beat the coat out. It's now singed and largely ruined, but at least it's saved him from any
Oh,
damage.
he's also going to sort of take partial cover by getting behind a tree and lying down or whatever, or sitting out the way. He's
Seems-
in no fit condition to do anything.
Seems very wise. I take it Sailor Moon's going to go for cover as well then.
Yeah.
She's also very, very badly injured. Okay, next round, and it is Thaldron, who can either act or just let them escape.
Should we just let them escape? Because
Let
I
them
can just
take the
chase them
story.
down and butcher them.
No, let them
No, I
take
can't
the story.
actually. I can't. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
You can't what?
I can't run
Okay, then don't.
at this point.
Let them take the story back to the rest of them, and if we have to face them again at some point, we'll be at massive advantage. Otherwise, they may just avoid us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, let's see to the wounded and tidy up the bodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to give those bodies as an offering to the Sea Lord.
How does that work?
We should, before we do anything to them, we should check them for anything
Check
that
pockets.
might
Check-
bring them
check
to
them
an
for pearls.
organisation or anything like that, and that too.
Okay, so between the two of them, you get a total of. Actually, these are really well-off pirates, because
Funny
between the two of them, you've managed to find 20 silver coins and 10 gold.
Nice.
So they've obviously been quite successful recently. Not that recently. Their most recent action was quite unsuccessful, but they've been quite successful recently. So that's 20 silver and 10 gold between them you managed to find.
Any rings on this finger?
Yeah, there's a ring on the finger you bit off.
Bells on the toes?
They've got bill hooks. No, they haven't. They've got
Swords.
swords. I think both of them that you brought.
And did you not say that this one was the
Oh.
really vicious one with an axe?
Yes, sorry. That one's got 2
Yeah.
axes, and that one's got a sword.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants an axe, you can take an axe. There's 2 of them in total. If you do, let me just find the stats for axe. So it's a standard axe. So it's just 2d6 damage, plus your strength. Used under fighting. And if you don't have the axe's focus, you would be at -2. But other than that, so you shove the bodies out into the sea.
Yes.
Weight them down in whatever way you feel
Mhm.
needs it, with the various rocks that are scattered about the place. It's not going to be a problem. You then start tending to your wounded, of which there
Yeah.
are quite a few.
Okay.
Not least of which appears to be Myval.
Am I rolling for these independently?
Well, first of all, you can all take a breather, so you all get 5 plus your level plus your constitution back.
I've already had a breather for the wounds that I have from the previous encounter.
Right, if you
So-
haven't regained any new wounds, then you don't get
No,
any
the
bonus.
the only thing I got was a glancing blow off my armor.
Right. So what's the sailor's constitution? Somebody.
I'm on
We
it.
all have a constitution
One.
of 1.
1. Right, you are. That's 5, 6, 8. So they'll each get 8 back. So the sailors. are still looking quite rough, to be honest.
Mm.
Especially young Roger, who was quite badly. I mean, he's pale. He's lost so much blood. He's looking pale from the blood loss.
That's not just because he's Irish.
Yeah. Well, he's normally a sort of bluish colour because he's sea folk, sort of pale blue colour.
There's one of mine.
Yeah. So there you go. Then you're going to have to take a closer look at some of these sailors, I think.
Oh yeah. Right. So, triage-wise, who's worst off?
Oh,
Roger.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger's
Okay.
definitely
Roger than
the worst,
Harold.
yeah.
I'll throw it out there. I don't know if it's appropriate to the setting or not, but the sea folk immediately going to help the other sea folk. Anybody going to be resentful of that?
No, that seems logical.
He's
Right.
the worst wounded
He's also
person.
the most wounded, so
Yep.
okay,
Okay, no
doubly
worries.
logical.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore, because that's 6 plus your intelligence. That's 8. Because you've stunted, I would allow you to convert the stun points, but you're not going
Lovely.
to need to. So that's Roger is now back up full.
Can the stunt points therefore carry over to my next attempt?
Nah, they shouldn't really. So
Okay.
no.
All right. Next one.
Okay. So you've got a pass there with 8. So that's
Yep.
another of the crew now fully healed.
Mm-hmm.
So Sailor Moon's the only one with any injuries left at all, and she's now
Oh.
only sort of slightly.
Before I do that, is there the standing rule in this is the same as in Phage, where you need a first aid kit to do this?
You need
Or-
bandages to do this. Yeah.
Right. So it's assumed we have those, or I would have those as a healer.
It's assumed you would have some as a healer. Also, you can use anything that you could realistically use as a bandage. So you can tear your
Dead pirates'
your
clothes.
Dead
shirts,
pirate
dead
clothes,
pirate
yes.
clothes, all sorts. Yeah. Okay, and another stunt. You only needed another 2. So that's everybody is now fully recovered, which is more than can be said for the pirates, because 2 of them are
Yep.
dead. And you have sent their corpses to the bottom. What would you like to do now?
Well, I think we were previously having ourselves a very hearty meal, weren't we?
You were, yes.
Back to it.
Right. The other thing that we need to do is we need to basically break this camp.
Yeah.
And move, like sail south or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll
move you over onto.
hang on. I'm inclined to, and you know, you can call me, call it hubris or overconfidence if you like, but what we've just sent them away with, if they can see from a distance that we're not moving, we're not scared, we know that they know where we are. We've repelled them once. We've killed 2 of them in front of them and one of them while they were retreating. And I've sent them off with a curse from the sea god, and they're very superstitious pirates. We show no fear.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan. Let's make some. I don't know what you call it. Defensive arrangements, though.
Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll set up some symbolism around the place.
Okay.
We've already set those bodies adrift, haven't we?
You have, yes.
Right. Have the weapons been claimed?
No, we've still got their gear. Whatever was on them,
Right.
we've still got it. I don't know
So-
who's making a note of the money that was recovered.
You're good with numbers, and you're an experienced treasurer.
God.
And therefore, and
I'm
you
terrible
spoke,
with numbers. Don't give me money.
and I'm terrible with numbers as well, Shaun.
Okay, right. Let's
By default, it's you.
10 gold. What was it? It's 20 silver.
If we want somebody to look after numbers, we come to you. If we want somebody who's a loudmouth to get us into trouble, you come to me.
A wooden eyeball. Anything else of note that we were taking off these pirate
I
guys?
kept the ring.
Yeah.
You've
You
got
kept
the
the
ring.
ring. You can take yes, the fake eyeball you found on one of them if you like. Yeah.
It's glass eye. Parlay? What do you mean, parlay?
Can I throw something in?
Go ahead.
Is it a grenade? Is it if it's a bag of grenades?
Hang
No.
on. Oh god, that was a moment. I'm so proud of
I'm
that.
just going to mute my mic.
I was blown
while
away
eat
when you
this
did that.
biscuit.
so was Gora. Right. I'd like to make a request. If someone has found an artificial eye, when it's examined, can it have the appearance that the iris is trying to focus on something? It's actually moving.
Yes, it
He
can.
did say it was. He did. Oh, cool.
Mhm.
So either that's like some sort of glamour to make it look more realistic, or maybe it continues to see.
Yeah, it's looking around at the moment as if it's...
At which
It's
point,
quite unnerving.
you put it down your pants. Is that what you say? just to give them a fright. Is that like...
And suddenly you become a pawnbroker. 3 balls. People aren't going to get that in this day and
Dear
age, are they?
God.
And it's not spelt with a W. But anyway, let's carry on. Yeah, see, it's so just imagine how much worse it would be if we had a certain other person in the game.
Let's carry on. It sounds like a carry on from the start.
Ooh,
Carry on
major.
Cleo, carry on Cowboy,
Okay, so...
carry on Blue Rose.
Okay, so you you finish your meal, you make sure everybody's healed, you've made a few defensive arrangements, you haven't been attacked again.
Mm-hmm.
So once all that's over and done with, what do you want to do?
The barrow is the closest. Is it also the direction in which the pirates went?
They were more sort of southwesty, really.
Towards the caves.
Possibly.
Because we want to go sort of... Or are we going to cross the hills? What do you want to do? Do you want to go across the hills?
Okay, you're going to do that, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okie dokie. So, you set off after your hearty meal and burying the dead and all that sort of thing. You set off across the island, heading inland towards the barrow. The hills that you find, they're quite hefty hills. Actually, they're not here either. That's the low part. Let me just check my map. It's more accurate than yours. Okay, I'll tell you what I also need. I'm going to need a little marker to show your travel inland. Actually, you can largely skirt the hills across the sort of rough ground, rather. Let me just find my...
There's swamp here.
Are you actually on? Right, you're not. I need to take you over here. I need to find a little movement marker and give it sight. So it's on... Oh, dear me. Valentine's tabletop. Painted rock map or apocalypse drawn. Where the hell is it? You know what? For the time being, I'm just going to use one of the party. So I'll drag the first person to... okay. Except that doesn't seem to have transferred. Okay, and I'm going to make that a little bit smaller because that seems a touch excessive. Actually that's not going to work. It has to be a marker I can give everyone sight to.
Yep.
Previously, you have used like a little walking
Yeah,
figure.
that's what I'm looking for. I just can't find
Right.
it at the moment.
Okay.
For some reason. I know what it's supposed to be under, but I can't find that.
No
So,
worries.
Academy airship. It's the
Do you have such a thing as a mushroom?
Mushroom? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Just because we're from the Chanterelle, that's.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Aye.
One of your violet funguses, perhaps. Or you've got that little boat that's already there.
Right, that'll do for now. I'll just add that and give you vision. There we go. So that should now be able to see. Bloody seeing properly, is it? Why the fucking hell is that not see? Okay, let me give it an emits light, see if that fixes the problem. Yeah,
Oh, that's too much.
that's a little bit too much vision. Let me
Don't
just...
look, don't look.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, you maybe want to take that. Yeah, that's better.
That's better. Yeah, that's more like it, isn't it? Okay, so let me just measure.
Yeah, I was just saying, you might not want to have it as that amount.
Yeah.
You
Well,
wanna
that's 5 kilometers, so that's about right.
Because if we move, right, yeah, you need to put a lighting on, you know, like a...
dynamic lighting down the mountains. I suppose I do. So let me just add a dynamic lighting line. Oh, it's a new dynamic lighting, so anything could happen when I do this. So we will use the freehand, wall, regular, and I will... Now this should theoretically work. Let's see if it did. And if I just move this a little bit, yes, that's going to work. The mountains will now block your line of sight. So I'm just going to give you control of the walking token, controlled by all players. And I'm going to check the distance from there. Well, more from there, really. It's 3 kilometers to the cairn, or it's actually more of a barrel. So yeah, you can get there. So if you just like to move yourselves, I keep calling it the cairn. As you approach the barrel, Shaun, your character has a sense for the arcane, I seem to recall. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is an unsettling sensation. You all feel the unsettling sensation as you get closer and closer to the barrel. Something about it doesn't feel right. Shaun, your character can sense the use of sorcery arcana in the area.
Sorcery arcana.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Evil sorcery.
Yeah. The cairn itself is a large, oblong, you assume structure. It must have been artificially created at some point. Some barrows are just kind of dug into the side of hills. More commonly, however, they are structured, they are built. A lot of soil is piled up around the stone that's used to make them. This is very definitely the latter sort. It is very definitely... the whole hill has been artificially constructed at some point. And I'm just going to drag you over to the map for the cairn, which I've literally finished off at about 1 in the morning last night. So, Anemone, can you now
Yes?
see?
No.
Okay. Had a feeling that was going to be the case. What about now?
No.
No, you can't see.
I cannot see a thing.
Far right. Have you got your glasses back on?
Yeah, my glasses are back on. My eyes are not that bad.
Oh.
It's
Are
just-
your
it's
eyes
just so-
open?
Yes.
Okay.
My eyes are open, the screen's on. My eyes are looking at the screen.
What about
There we
now?
go.
Now I can.
There it is.
Now I can.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like an optician. And now, and now.
better
Is
with
it
the left
better
eye or
with
the
or
right?
without? Yes. Myval, can you see?
They're very far away.
Who's carrying the glowy sword, by the way?
I still have it. I'm
I'm
not,
here.
not forgetting my character is greedy, so I've told the rest of the party I have these things, but I'm holding on to them.
Yes, I
Okay.
can see. What are you holding on to? Sorry, I missed that bit.
Both the sword and the horn.
Okay.
Okay, well, right now you are feeling even greedier than usual.
Oh no.
The
Ooh,
closer you
okay.
get to this cairn, the more. Yeah, all you can think of is that there'll be treasure in there, valuables, things we can loot.
Mm.
Okay, I think I see.
I'm going to warn everybody and say there's bad magic.
Did that change anybody's view?
Nope.
No.
Fantastic.
I've got a kind of crescent view on the east side of the screen.
Crescent view, east side of screen. Right. Okay, that means everything is working fine as far as the vision is going at the moment. Whoop whoop.
It makes me think. It makes me think of Karth from Game of Thrones.
Karth, right? Yes. Okay. Well, it's more a sort of, if you've ever seen this part of the UK, you must have done at some point, I think. Pre-Anglo-Saxon burial mound. It's
Yes,
pretty
indeed.
much what it looks like.
There's a massive one in Ireland.
There is, yeah. This is huge. It's very big. It's more than 50 meters across, and sort of lozenge shaped. It rises about 2 whole stories at least, in height. The mound itself of earth. Most of it is overgrown, and there's also this processional way that leads towards the entry point. The processional way, either side of it, you have columns of polished, light grey rock. The door,
Any markings on them?
not on the columns, there aren't, no, not markings that would mean anything, just kind of, those channels and whatnot you would find just sort of fluted effect for on columns to, yeah.
Are there any symbols that match what we saw in the temple?
There are no symbols that match what you saw in the temple on the columns, no. The door
Right.
itself, something about the door looks off. It doesn't look as if it was part of the original structure.
It's a later addition.
It's a much later addition. Is also inlaid, and this will sound familiar, but it's not pearls this time.
Okay.
It's inlaid with stones.
Yeah.
Gemstones of some description. Crystals,
What kind
you
of
would
stone?
almost call them. Some kind of crystal.
If
It's
this
just got
place-
4 of them, one at each sort of cardinal point of the thing. And
Okay,
also
4
there
crystals, 4
big-
columns.
are also big square metallic something on the front of it. Some kind of mechanism, kind of square holes, 4 of them. Sorry,
Okay.
Louise, you were going to say.
If this place is making an enemy feel greedier than usual,
Yes.
I haven't mentioned that.
yeah, but this isn't in character. This
Okay.
is just me spitballing here.
This is
Okay.
a question Louise needs
Yeah.
an answer to. So yeah.
Could the sort of effect of this place be why this island has such a piracy problem?
Yeah, easily could be. Yeah.
That does make sense.
Also, Louise, what is Myval's fate?
Let me check. I think it's wasteful. Fate.
Yeah.
The Fate, yeah, fate is wasteful.
Wasteful. Okay, so your as you came along on the search, you'd brought a pouch full of the snacks that you'd gathered on the way. But as you're here, your stomach's churning a little bit. You're a bit full. You've had a lot of seafood, and you just fling what's left into the long grass. It's like, I'll never get around to eating them, and just fling them away.
Right, so it amplifies your fate.
Yeah. Shaun, what is Thaldron's fate?
It says hopeless.
You take one look at the door with these 4 metallic fittings that look like holes.
We're never
in
getting
a
through
thing.
that.
Exactly, yeah. You're
I
convinced.
can't control my character token, by the way.
You can't? Okay, let me just fix that for you.
And we're missing the rest of the crew.
Yeah, well, I'll add them in a moment.
Okay.
That's changed it. That's because I don't have any numbers, but let me sort the numbers out.
Right, yeah. Yeah, if you sort the numbers out, that'll add the green aura. I'll start bringing the rest of the crew over. As you look at this door, you can actually sense that Thaldron's kind of losing confidence. He actually says we'll never get through that. You've never heard him sound quite so easily defeated, I think is the term I'm looking for.
We don't necessarily need to get through it. These things look useful. I start trying to prize out the gems.
Okay. Let me just think now. Oh, shit, right, okay. As you attempt to prize out the gems, the glow of the sword just dies away. You know when you've got a torch or a flashlight, as an American would say.
Runs out of batteries.
Yes, and it kind of dims really quickly and then just goes dead. That's what's just happened to your sword.
Okay. I mean, I'm greedy. I'm not stupid. So I stop trying to prize them out and see if it goes back on.
No, it doesn't actually. It seemed to be more approaching the. Oh. Yeah. It seemed to be the approaching them seems to have been enough to do it.
Okay, hang on a second. I'll head back further away from them. Does the glowing come back on?
No, not immediately.
Right.
There we go.
So I wait to see if it comes back on.
Okay. It does after a while. Well, it depends how long do you want to wait, really.
Nearly had a mini heart attack there when like 4 people appeared.
That's the rest of the crew you brought.
I'm like, oh no, not more pirates.
Anyway.
Flash mob.
So yeah, flash mob. So you're starting to feel a slight tingle in your hand on the blade again when you're away from it and giving it some time. It's almost as if those gemstones drain the magic. Also, Myval, you can't currently communicate. Oh no, it's a Rybond, isn't it? No, you'll still be able to communicate. But there's something definite. In fact, Thaldron, you sense that these stones are somehow dampening magic. As you stand outside this huge barrow mound, the lights, well, it won't be a sea breeze anymore, but the light breeze kind of tousling your hair. The temperature is just pleasant. It's like too warm, but the breeze is just bringing it down to that nice, pleasant sensation. But there is just this something unsettling about this place. And that door in front of you is almost like some kind of warning. It's been put here later. The gemstones seem to be determined to keep magic at bay. The locks are on this side, and you can't help feeling.
It's keeping things in.
It's there to
Not
keep
keeping
something
them out.
in, not out. And on that note,
So we're not going to shake it all about.
you're not. And on that note, thank you very much for coming to the game today.
Thank you.
I know you'd thought I might not be capable of running it under the circumstances, so I hope I haven't done. I'm aware I wasn't at my best.
You've done wonderfully well, and thank you.
You are very welcome. We will have to call it there though, because I am expecting a call from my mother in about 10 minutes to tell me how the tests went today. So See how it
I
goes.
hope all has gone well.
Let's hope so. Yeah, let's hope so. So thanks very much for coming. Hope you've enjoyed the game.
Definitely.
Turns out that checkerboard hint that we had at the landing page wasn't necessary because you zigged when I expected you to zag. But thank you to you and thank you to everybody at home for listening to the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll join you again, hopefully, providing the news about my mother doesn't get any worse. We'll see you all again next week. Do stay safe. Take care. And from us for now, good night.
Good night.
You seeing
Good
you?
night.